Me F37 buying a house with a never-happy spouse M42. Updated C at the end. Our family is me, F37, him, M42, and our child, F3. Conflicts in the relationship since day 2. Relationship survived COVID. Tried to buy a house for 2 years. Puts a lot of stress and anxiety on him. He reacts by bullying me, resenting me, being distant and cold. Our process was broken. Realtor putting losing offers. Spending our weekends visiting, sacrificing time for my side hustle and a product launch, and changing areas all the time. Throughout the entire buying process he has been mean, ungrateful, distant, cold. Being the mom, I am also the default parent and carry a lot of the mental and emotional load of caring for a 3Y. Oh. I told myself okay, we need to buy that house so he can be happy. And before the deadline to renew our lease. Otherwise we would have been stuck another year with 30% increase in rent. So I made it happen. I changed realtor, learned a ton about putting down winning offers, and managed to win 2 bids, a townhome and a single family, by increasing the offer price and reducing our down payment. So we sat and discussed which house to take. The townhome had super high WA, and doesn't appreciate as fast as a single family, so we collectively agreed to go for the single family. And now we bought the house. He is so upset. That I offered more, that we went with the single family, that it has repairs, that the seller is paying for, but he still argues that it is our money. He is being very unfair. He woke up and found that the ceiling in the bedroom was too low for his taste. He hates the house. He resents me. He is cold and distant and sadistic. He was the one ready to buy the houses that nobody wanted. Condo with WA and view on the parking lot. Old house in a town with massive floods that needed to be completely renovated, while we would live in it. I feel like I am too invested with this man, with the child, the house, my loneliness, anxieties, and thinking I want to try to make it work. But the day-to-day life is hell. I am spending so much energy and efforts to make everything happen for this family, booking vacations, buying the house, calling the contractors, repairing stuff myself, taking care of my child, the birthdays, even the relationship where I am trying to find solutions for us. And what I get in return is, he will never be happy. He is fundamentally miserable, low-grade depression that he refuses to treat, low libido that's frustrating for me, and so much more. I feel unappreciated. Why do I hustle for someone who just criticizes me all the time and sabotages me? There is fear of the unknown and fear of a nasty divorce and fear of not overseeing 50% PF my child's life. He yells at her, traumatizes her, feeds her junk food, ice cream and candies. I think I want to stick around and make it work somehow. I just need to find a way to deal with the crap he throws at me and protect my mental health. So I guess my question is, how do you shield from that type of immature nasty behavior and find fulfillment elsewhere? Update. Okay, I am trying to respond to everyone at once. Not sure if that works with Reddit and if you will get the notifications. I appreciate the support and all the what the fuck questions about why we are together. I presented what deeply disturbs me and it is one side of the story. He is an entrepreneur. He supported me from day one in my entrepreneurial dreams. Always had an uplifting speech towards my business self-esteem. He was incredibly sweet the first 6 months. We were 24/7 together and didn't feel sick of each other. Separated for 2 weeks because I had to travel to my home country and it was physically painful for both of us. I felt the prior 15 years completely abandoned by my family, and was in a desert emotionally and affectively. I am trying to work on myself, but I have attachment disorder, and some form of PTSD, anxiety and paranoia. I was 32 when we met and I got pregnant after those 6 months. That's when he started showing red flags. So apologies if it wasn't clear in the first message. By day 2 I meant 6 months down the road. After that red flag I just left and spent a few days at a girlfriend's place and demanded couple therapy if he wanted to get me back. He spent $700 on a 2 hours therapy or something ridiculous like that for a NY therapist. At the end of the session he burst in tears and said if I was to divorce him he would pay for child support and would take care of us any way he can. I thought okay, he loves me. He cooks, he takes our daughter to play outside. He is a nurturing, loving dad that teaches my daughter stuff. He has strong family values. He doesn't let me down. For example, he wouldn't let me by myself struggling and go on a trip with his friends. Partly because he's a workaholic and doesn't know how to pause, partly because he protects me. I do feel like I have a protective man next to me, except for destroying my happiness and mental health, right? But from the roughness of life, he's there. He pays more than half of the bills, and for the whole immigration period plus pregnancy plus me looking for a job he paid 100% of the bills and never shamed me for it or made me feel bad about it. About immigration status. I came on a work visa, a great job, independent woman, and as we got married I transitioned to green card, therefore had to wait before getting a new work permit. At that point I was 100% depending on him and with no family nearby. Him and his family were the only people I had. He's equalitarian in bed, 50% his pleasure 50% mine, when I finally get him motivated, and I like his body very much. How do I respond to him? 1. In my good, monk days, I will be patient but extremely rational with him, like an adult trying to make sense of a 12-yo. And then walk away disappointed in him and upset, then he usually comes and hugs me. Or for example with the real estate agent change, after being horrible and finally seeing how great the new guy was, gave me flowers the next day saying, "Thanks for being on your best behavior yesterday. Today everybody is right, nobody is wrong. I love you." And I thought, what the fuck is that note? He never feels bad about himself and couldn't even say, "You were right, I am sorry I was unfair," or something like that. Like he's incapable of guilt. 2. I am not a monk and things escalate super quick. We scream and yell at each other and say the most horrible things to each other, in front of child, which I am trying to avoid, but the rage just gets you on the spot and it needs to come out. Why not just leave? Because we have a child. But especially because of me believing he is the man I want and I need. I hated the idea of picturing him with another woman. He has a loving heart and I want it for myself, and I know he can show love. We had a good 6 months last year where it was peaceful and great during summer months. He would say one day when I said, "You don't love me," he said with tears in his eyes, "Of course I do, and I show it to you by defending you like a tiger against that person that day. You gave us a life. You are my family. Because I have panic attacks at night and feel scared and lonely in this humongous universe when I am alone." I didn't get that feeling for the last 5 years with him, only a few times when he was traveling for work. Because he scared me if I decided to leave. One day I went to a hotel with my daughter for a few days to make him understand how upset I was, or to just breathe. We just moved to a new apartment, which are again extremely stressful times for him, and it put ton of pressure on the relationship to the point where it was too toxic. So after that he held that above my head. If I wanted to complain or divorce he would tell the judge I kidnapped our daughter, which I discovered later didn't qualify if it's 3 days and I met his sisters those days. But he's that kind of guy, extremely revengeful, and would try to keep full custody, or at least that's what he was threatening me to do, plus say all the bad things I did. Say, I may have thrown strawberries at him one day. Why buy a house with him? Because might as well. We are throwing our money on rent and I had no plans to go anywhere in the 5 years, and we are gonna sell the house then. It's a financial decision that made sense to me no matter what. We love each other, but we have toxic dynamics that makes it suffocating. Try to make him understand how he's being horrible and he just completely rejects it and says the same things to me, ping pong. If I listen to myself, I pack my bags and leave. But why? So that he realizes he went too far and apologizes, to keep him in check. I can't do that with a child. He will say I kidnapped her and it will escalate to dangerous proportions. So I ignore it and move on and act like him, cold, distant, like roommates, not sleeping in the same bed. Then after things calm down I go back to being loving or asking for affection, and very fast I will be frustrated. We will fall back in the same unhealthy patterns. Tried couple therapy. He charms the therapist and then starts pathologizing me with them, always switching the topic back to me when we would talk about his issues. I do that because you did that, and never acknowledging his part. At the beginning of the relationship I feel like I had the weapons to defend myself and put some limits. Then I felt like a prisoner. I feel like that too now sometimes. Why the heck are you still with this guy? Your kid will learn that verbal abuse is normal in a relationship. Do you want that? You are already hurting your daughter. She is in her formative years and you're showing her that it's okay and encouraged to appease men who abuse you. Please stop. Get out before your daughter thinks this is what a marriage should look like. You have to be her example. You are hella trippin' buying a house with him. I do not understand why you two are in a relationship if it was rough from the jump. What's his side? Are you instigating anything, or is it mainly him, because it doesn't make sense to remain in a one-sided broken relationship for this long? Well, see, what you do is you have a kid together and then you buy a house together, and maybe the next step should be you start a business together. I'm 29F. Not attracted to my fat boyfriend, 26M. I, 29F, started seeing a new guy, 26M, a few weeks ago. We are not technically boyfriend-girlfriend yet, but we are exclusive and moving towards becoming official. His personality is great. He's a super sweet guy, great communicator, he makes amazing plans, has a good job, and accepts that I don't want kids. He's awesome. The issue is that we met on a dating app, and the pictures he put up there are from several years ago when he was an athlete and was very fit. When I met him in real life, I realized he looks very different now. To be brutally honest, he's fat. What's worse, because of his size, the sex is terrible. He's not able to move around much and he just kind of dead fish flops on top of me. He also has trouble staying hard, which I'm pretty sure is linked to his size as well. I'm a very fitness-oriented person, so this is difficult for me. Am I potentially letting go a great guy where all of the issues are fixable? He can lose weight, get fit, and get better in bed. Is it cruel for me to bring up his size and ask whether he's working towards losing the weight? Or should I just end things so he can find someone who will appreciate him for who he is without wanting to change him? P.S. I don't want to hurt his feelings or be an asshole to him. The whole reason I'm considering to end things is that things are getting serious. He's planning to take me on a trip soon. We are talking about our plans for the summer, etc. And I'd rather not waste his time and money if I can't see us stay together in the long term. Too long did not read. I'm dating a man I'm not attracted to and need advice on whether to pursue or end things. Edit. Answering some common questions below. 1. Why didn't you walk out when you realized he didn't look like his pictures? Everyone, me included, uses old pictures. Granted, in my case I still look the same, except for hair length. But I understand that not everyone takes photos every month or even every year, especially if they're not confident with their body. This is not something to be mean over, especially not to the point of walking out on someone. 2. Why did you continue to date him if he isn't your type? By the end of the first night, he had completely won me over. I was smitten and wanted to see him again. The more I saw him, the more I caught feelings, and the less the looks mattered to me. This changed when we became exclusive and started having sex, as explained above. 3. Why not just say it point blank to his face? He struggled with mental health issues and subsequent weight gain in the past. His ex left him over it. So this is a super sensitive topic and I'm not sure how to bring it up, or whether to bring it up, or whether to leave, and if so, how to leave without him thinking that this was the reason. I am trying to do my best to avoid hurting him or ruining his self-confidence. If I didn't take his feelings into consideration, I'd just keep dating him to see if things get better or I'd just say stuff point blank to his face. I appreciate everyone who offered their honest opinion and managed to be respectful. I'm not able to reply to everyone, but y'all have been very helpful. Thank you. He probably won't lose weight because you told him, he will do it if he wants to. Your best bet is find someone you're more attracted to that can sexually satisfy you the way you want. Don't sit around and wait for him to change. It's probably best to end it for both of you. He didn't accurately represent himself, but you probably should have cut it off the minute you realized this. I will never understand why y'all date people y'all not attracted to. People aren't projects. If you don't like the whole package, just end things. Please just break up. I, 22M, caught my girlfriend, 33F, in a lie. Now I suspect she's cheating. Throwaway for obvious reasons. I've been dating my girlfriend for about 6 months now and it's been going pretty well. We're both serious about each other and both seem to want this long term. Everything up to this point has seemed pretty healthy and normal, and I definitely feel like she is someone I want a long-term relationship with. Here's the issue. I'm not proud of it, but I snooped around her phone because I had a hunch something was up. She doesn't seem like the type to cheat at all, and what I found on her phone wasn't clear evidence of cheating, but it definitely is somewhat concerning. She's been texting her ex that she dated for 3 years about a couple years back. I already knew this because she told me, but firstly, I didn't know it was so frequent and that they quite frequently send each other videos, memes. Secondly, he still calls her pet names like, Little Boo Boo, which she does not shut down, and has even done things like send back the ghost emoji, seemingly playing along. And lastly, on Valentine's Day, he wished her Happy V-Day and she replied Happy V-Day too, liking his message. Now, obviously these things aren't clear signs of cheating and they can even be explained away in some cases. The main issue is that, after this, we had a conversation in which I asked her about her current friendship with her ex and if she was at all attracted to him. She reassured me that I had nothing to worry about and that she was only attracted to me. Then, I decided to clarify the state of their friendship, asking her questions like if she would be okay going on a vacation with just him or if she would invite him to a nice dinner if they were ever in the same country again. With the vacation, she thought for a bit and then said it would be complicated with the rooming situation and then said no she wouldn't. And she said she'd be comfortable with having a nice dinner with him. Afterwards I lead the questions towards more specific things like if she still texts him often or if they send each other memes, videos. To which she said no to both things and even said that she doesn't remember when they last texted and that maybe it was a few months ago but she had just sent him something that very day and have been texting more or less every 2 weeks or so. I also asked if he would wish her Valentine's Day and she said no. Then I asked if he called her any pet names and she also said no. That's a total of 4 things she lied about that I have undeniable knowledge of. I acknowledge that it's messed up for me to have snooped but I just couldn't help myself. I am trying to reason with why she would lie about this because I genuinely feel like she isn't the type to cheat, but after this I am not sure anymore. My only guess is that she genuinely forgot or that she lied to make me less worried or insecure about the contact that they are having. Reddit, please help me out here. I feel like my heart is going to explode with anxiety. How should I confront the situation or tackle this? I'm her age and I couldn't fathom dating someone your age. Smiling face with tear. If a friend of mine who is 33 started dating a 22-year-old I'd think she's a creep. Sounds like there's still some emotion there. Ultimately if you're not comfortable with that behavior in your relationship, you don't deserve to experience it. Maybe a liar who is 11 years older is not a great match. Consider that for a moment. She is far more worldly and experienced than you are. Don't let her manipulate you. 6-month relationship, trust issues, that age gap. Yeah, I don't think this is looking good. Sorry. Not looking too good for a LTR. Get out now. Liars never change and are you going to wait to see? She still has him around because she isn't 100% into you in her devotion. Maybe she's into your attractiveness but a relationship is deeper than that. I feel like my boyfriend's, M27, female coworker, F30, is showing interest in him. Hey guys, I'd just appreciate some thoughts from you guys on whether this female coworker might be interested in my boyfriend or if you think she might also just be a friend, because even he's confused. These are some things that happened. She sent him a text in the morning before work, after being off work for a few days saying that she's excited they see each other again. She invites him to parties, with other colleagues though, but texts things like, "I really wish you could come," when he says he can't join. She texted him and also asks him at work about relationship advice. She's in a relationship. She invited him to go for a drink or coffee after work. She randomly touched his hair, recent, only once, or pats his shoulder. She asked him what he likes in women and tried to get more out of him when he said he's all about personality and not looks as much. She comments on things he wears if they're new or comments on his nice new hairstyle, when he hasn't even been to the hairdresser. Cold sweat smile. She made him a small breakfast at work after he talked to her a bit over text the evening before when she was having issues with her boyfriend. I was okay with it because she seemed to need to talk to someone. So, most likely an innocent thank you gesture. She recently playfully asked him if he will miss her as she was leaving work early. She told him that her boyfriend was great in bed. She asked him why he was with me. It most likely was just a genuine question and interest, but I'm also not at my skinniest at the moment and she's very attractive and skinny. I view the question negatively even though it probably wasn't. According to my boyfriend, she also gave an envious look when he said things like I amplify him and make him a better and happier person, etc. What do you think? Too long did not read. Not sure if my boyfriend's female coworker hinting interest or not. Edit. Thanks guys, and sorry if I'm not responding to all of you, but I'm reading all the comments. Helps so much. Edit. Just to clarify, my boyfriend doesn't entertain any of this. He doesn't even engage in inappropriate conversations, he just nods or shows that he's listening but doesn't reciprocate. The only thing that hasn't been done yet is talking to her about some stuff simply because we felt a lot of this could also just being OV friendly. It's pretty clear she's after him. He really needs to shut it down. Your boyfriend tells you he notices her envious looks when he talks about you. Yet you're both confused about what to do? He sees the envy. Why is he still her buddy? Time for you both to grow up and set clear boundaries. And your boyfriend is completely open with all this? He seems to be appreciating the attention, or how would it be continuing? Also, what is the point of passing all this along? He needs to be mature enough to firmly reject this woman. This is obvious, she is into him. Now, is your boyfriend's job to put a stop to this. If he refused to do it for whatever reason, then you have a bigger problem.